Hello and welcome back to the channel. Sorry if I sound a little off. I'm a little sick right now, but with that being said, hope you guys enjoy the video. And if you do, please consider subscribing. It means the world to me. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy my impressions of Arknights Endfield. Arknights Endfield is a very interesting game, as I don't play very many gacha games, but a very good friend of mine kept hyping this game up, so I thought I might as well try it, see what all the fuss is about. And I gotta say, I'm honestly surprised at how well crafted this game is. I know I'm supposed to give my opinion, but this feels a lot better to play than most AAA games. It looks so good and is well polished, and even though it is a gacha game, and I'll touch on that stuff later, there's a lot of stuff to do here for a game that is entirely free to play. And I just really want to talk about it. This isn't really a review of sorts, but more so my first impressions of like the first, I don't know, I've played about 10 hours of the game so far, so I just want to talk about it. And the first thing that really stood out to me was the combat system. While the main combat is just like press one button to like do all your little combos, right? But you can like chain like different like special abilities into your combos. And there's distinct playstyles across all the characters in the game. And it's just really fun being able to dodge. There's a lot of combo potential here within the game, and it's just really cool. And even like the free characters that you get so far feel very powerful. And at no point at all do I feel incentivized to go buy pools for the game or like buy a bundle in the shop or like buy anything really, right? Nothing is really paid for you to progress. Like I'm pretty sure you could play this game without spending a single penny and you'll get a bunch of characters with all the free jewels they've given you. And I don't know if other gacha games do that, but I have like 11 or so characters out of I don't even know how many. Probably like 20 or so. Hello, Editor Joe Tato's here. I just want to really add that, I forgot to mention this in the video, but in order to guarantee a character, you have to do a lot of pulls, like well over 100. And there's this mechanic that my friend told me about called pity, and it doesn't carry over between character banners. And I heard he told me that's very unusual for most gacha games, so I thought I might want to mention that. Moving forward, there is no pity. Well, there is a pity mechanic, but it doesn't carry over to, say, a new banner. Like, they're limited banners. I mean, if you played gacha, you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't understand it fully myself, but I just thought I'd let you guys know. Enjoy the rest of the video. And each character, even the lower tier ones, are very fun to play. And just overall, it's just really cool. Like, it's awesome, right? And the voice acting in the story, I didn't expect this game to have such amazing voice acting, especially for the English cast, because I'm used to, like, English translations, especially for games being pretty mediocre at best, but the voice acting here is honestly really good. All the voice actors who voice these characters in English have done a fantastic job. And overall as well, the story so far is actually quite engaging. I won't lie, it was a bit slow at first for me. Like, I didn't really understand what was going on, so I kind of, like, zoned out for the first 4 or so hours of the story, right? But as it kept going onward, like, some things kept popping up and I was like, oh, that's actually really interesting. And I just kept like getting more and more immersed in the story. One thing I don't like though about the story progression is that you'll hit certain walls where like you have to get to a certain like authority level to continue the story. I kind of get why they do that, but also I kind of don't. I'm guessing it's there so that way it makes you like do some open world activities and like it keeps you engaged longer, so you don't just like go through the whole story in like a single day, I guess. You're forced to do like side activities and stuff. But with that being said, I really didn't have to grind all that much to get to that point. I got to a point where I had to get to level 15 to progress. By the time it told me to do that, I was already level 14 and I was like halfway to level 15 with all the stuff I was doing. So it isn't that much of a grind. This is more of a nitpick than anything. So take it as you will. And without spoiling too much, I will say the story does have some themes that I thought were pretty interesting for the title, like the cost of progress, especially through like resource extraction. Because as you play the game, you'll notice that extracting resources from a certain planet and doing this is actually infecting the inhabitants with like a incurable disease, which is like crazy, right? I don't know if the story will have any sort of like choice or consequences in it, but I think that in of itself is pretty cool. And the world design and exploration is also pretty cool. The animations are very smooth. The world feels very polished, like no crashes, no bugs, no frame drops really. And exploration is feels very good. Like, it's not some big open world just for the sake of being big. It's like split up into like these like really big sections that are like jam-packed with like camps and like activities to do. And you can really use landmarks to guide yourself without having to constantly check your map, which is really nice. And building off that, the game doesn't really have any sort of co-op or anything. What it does have is ability to share blueprints with the factories that you create, which I'll talk about factories later, but... And also, any structures you build in your world might appear in someone else's world and help them. It's a system kind of similar to Dark Souls, if that makes sense, which I think is pretty cool. And you can go up and like repair these items, which means like maybe it like passes it on to another world. I'm not entirely sure, or it keeps it in yours. If you know, let me know down in the comments down below. Mean the world to me. But moving on, there's also a lot of environmental storytelling you can find, which I think is a major strength in this game. You can find remnants of old conflicts, you can find notes, you can find like different architectural styles throughout the world, like probably showing off some old civilization, right? And there's like contrast between like the untouched wilderness zones and like the industrial zones in the game, and it's just overall like so cool. And I guarantee they're gonna have like a story plot where like the cost of progression, like I said before, like destroying the natural beauty of the planet. That'd be so cool if they covered that. But probably my favorite thing in the game so far is the base building and factory stuff, right? So the main way you get resources and craft, main reason you get resources to craft better gear is to basically make factories, right? And what you do is like you make like, if you ever played Satisfactory, it's kind of like that. Like you make these factories to craft these specific components, which you then use to make better gear. And you also have to build defenses for it, and it can function independently of you, and like it's passively producing these materials in the background. I don't know if it does it offline yet. I haven't checked, but we'll see. And if it does, it would really like ease the pressure of falling behind, which is nice, right? But I'm not sure, but I feel like as you progress farther in the game, you might need to make more and more advanced factories. And the space you have for these factories is very tiny, so I hope it doesn't come to a spot where like you need to like be crafting like several different items at once. There's just not enough space to do so, so you have to like prioritize one material over the other. I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll see. I'm not that far in yet. And just overall, this game really surprised me. It definitely feels like a AAA experience, and I don't know if that's normal for these gacha games. You guys let me know. The game has a very high production quality, a pretty good storytelling, I think. The music is amazing. I love the character designs, it's awesome. But some things I did notice, some rough edges. I can see it, the crafting with all the factories. Some people might think there are too many steps involved in crafting. And it's possible that the crafting process could overly complicate itself as you get closer to the end game. That's only really an issue because the plots you have to make these things are tiny, and I've played a bunch of Satisfactory, and I would really love to make like these gigantic factories to craft like all sorts of things at the same time. I don't think that's what they're going for in this. It seems they want more small focused factories. But despite my issues, I think this game is amazing, and I can't wait to finish the story in the game. I'm sure they'll add more story content in the future, and I can't wait to do that, but if you've played Arknights Endfield, what are your thoughts on it? It's just my impressions. As I play more, I might do a good review, full review of this if this video does well, but with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my video and my thoughts on Arknights Endfield. With that being said, if you liked the video, subscribe. If you didn't, don't subscribe, and with that, see you guys next time. Peace out.